Let's see if this penny box from Edwards, Illinois will produce a lot of goodies. Hey everyone, it's Rob with RobFindsTreasure, and that's right, I've got an unopened penny box from Edwards, Illinois, bank sealed. Hopefully it's not uncirculated, but we'll find that out in a second. I do want to thank William for his generosity in donating this penny box to me in exchange for a penny mat and his kind words in his letter. That being said, we got to open this box and make sure we can hunt it because it has not been opened yet. And even though I doubt that it's uncirculated since, you never know. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy cracked open and see if we have an Illinois penny box hunt today. And it is circulated since, so we do. You guys know the drill. I'll be using my Lincoln Penny Coin Hunts mat and my microscope so I can check for any of the varieties listed, as well as some RPMs, and see if we can find any of those. Obviously, I'd love to get a fair amount of wheat cents, 10 or more. I'd love to find a variety. I would absolutely be ecstatic if I can get an Indian Head cents, as I don't find many of those. But most importantly, because it's from Illinois, we're gonna have a lot of Philadelphia minted coins, and that's where the mat's gonna come in handy so that I can go ahead and see if I have any of the varieties listed on here. All right, we'll bring you in if and when we get our first find. Well, it didn't take long. Roll one, about 10 coins in, we've got our first wheat cent. And this one's gonna be, I believe, a 1944 with some damage. It is 1944 Philadelphia, wheat cent number one, roll number one. We're off to a good start. Roll number 5, and we have a find that I haven't found in quite some time. It's a 1973 Lincoln Memorial cent with Kennedy counterstruck facing Lincoln. And for those that don't know or haven't watched previous videos, they produced a card that this was affixed to that talked about the similarities between Lincoln and Kennedy. Anyway, if I can find that card that I have in my inventory and show you what that card was about. But cool find, love finding counterstruck coins, and it's been a while since I found one, and I'll take it. Put that up the top as an oddity and look for more. Roll number 9, wheat cent number 2. Reverse facing, it's another 1944 Philly. Roll number 15, and it must be the week for RPMs because once again, I've got another 1961 Denver under the microscope. And I'll show you mine first. You can clearly see the doubled serif there and above here. Definitely an RPM. So I scoured Variety Vista once again, and RPM 64, all the way to 64 is the one that I have. You can see the exact same mint mark positioning in relation to the 9 and the 6, and the exact same serif splitting down there at the bottom. Now, the only difference that I can see is it's hard for me to tell which one's in front of the other, whereas this one, you can clearly see this D right here is on top of that one. Mine looks like the opposite, but it's probably just wear. Either way, I've scoured through them all. This seems to be the most logical match, and it doesn't have any of the die chips that are on top of the right eave of the memorial building like it does in later stages. So without any real die markers to go off of, that's the one I think it is. I will look at the rest just one more time to make sure I've got a fresh set of eyes on it, but I'm pretty certain that that is the one. But let me just double check and I'll be right back. All right, I've doubled and triple checked. For the best conclusion that I can come to, it is the RPM 64. We'll add it to the collection. I know I have one similar. I don't think I have this stage, so I'll take it. We'll flip it up and we'll continue the hunt. Same roll, we've got our first Canadian. This is a 1980 Canadian number 1. Just grabbed roll number 21 from the box and flipped it, and we've got a wheat cent ender. So we're finally gonna get wheat cent number 3. Let's see what year it is. That wheat cent ender is gonna be a 1946 S, I believe. And it is not the over mint mark S over D. I know some of you may think you see an S over D over mint mark, but I double checked And despite it looking suspicious on this clip, it is not. But it's our third find and our third from the 40s. Let's see if we can get some more. We're up to roll 34 already. Still stuck on 3 wheat cents, but we did find our second Canadian of the box. And this one's going to be 1998. Same roll, and I just put a 1969S under the scope, and I figured I'd show you the machine doubling that's on it because I get asked a lot. I know it looks eerily similar to the 1969S DDO, but it is not. That is what's called machine doubling, and that is not from a die that has been doubled. So if you find one like that, it is exciting for a split second, but rest assured, if it doesn't have the clear separation in liberty and in the motto "In God We Trust," it is most certainly just machine doubling. I'll tell you though, putting it under the scope and seeing that for a split second does get the heart pounding. Anyway, just wanted to show you that. Always fun to look at a 69S under the scope, especially when it has some kind of doubling. Roll 35, and we're going to have our second counterstruck coin of the hunt. I don't know if this is counterstruck, probably scratched in, but someone with the initials JD scratched a 77D to mark their territory. We'll add it to the top of the board and continue on the quest for wheat cents. Same roll, and check this out. It is damaged, but that is a 2002 S-proof penny. I have not found one of these in quite some time, but it is certainly a proof strike. And despite the toning and the damage, it's still a pretty nice cent overall. And I was not expecting to find a proof in the box. We'll take that all day. First proof penny found in quite some time. We're on roll 38, and it's been a tough hunt for wheat cents. Ironically, the second coin in is going to be a 1956D. And as I flattened them out, I spied the edge of another wheat cent. So we'll have numbers 4 and 5 in the same roll. 56D, wheat cent number 4. And wheat cent number 5 is going to be another 56D. I'll check those for the D over shadow Ds, and if we have one, I'll bring you back. Roll number 40 of the box, and I'm bringing you in because I already saw the back. We have a 1942 Canadian cent, and that's going to be a King George VI, and that's an oldie. Cannot get mad at that. Beautiful looking Canadian cent there from 1942. We'll add that to the Canadians, which makes 3, and continue the hunt. Roll number 46, and we're going to have Canadian cent number 4, which only puts them 1 behind the wheat cents. We just grabbed roll 49 out of the box, and this box has been very stingy with only 5 wheat cents found. Now, 1 was an ender. I grabbed this one out, and we're going to have our second ender, and it's in pretty nice shape. Probably going to be in the 50s, but I'll definitely take it. It'll make 6 for the hunt, unless it has some friends with it. That beautiful looking wheat cent ender, 1957 Philly. It's a nice one, and we're happy to have it. 6 for the box. Can we squeeze out 1 more to make 7? Well, the Edwards, Illinois penny box has been hunted, and we couldn't get that 7th wheat cent. We ended with 6. It was a light wheat cent box despite being a heavy copper box. We almost filled our copper cup. So a lot of coins to look at, and surprisingly, even though it's in Illinois, we had just as many, if not more, Denver minted coins than we had Philadelphia coins, which made finding varieties a little more tougher. We did find a variety though. We did find that 1961D, D over D, which is tilted, RPM 64, and I'll take it. We got 4 Canadians, including that 1942 King George VI. Love those coins. We got 5 59s. Some were Denver, some were Philly. No RPMs, no DDOs. We got 3 1969S's, including that fun to scope machine doubled 1969S, which was very cool. The oldest wheat cent of the box was a tie. We had a 44D and a 44P. And we had 2 counterstruck coins, One with the Kennedy logo, which I'll bring in on the very end to show you what I was talking about with the card it comes affixed to, and that scratched Counter-Strike, if you will, with JD's initials on it. We did have 5 decent 09s that I kept, and that proof coin, which was very cool because I haven't found one of those in a long time. I'll be right back with that card to show you what it's about. So I've kept one of those original pennies in my collection and still affixed to the original Kennedy Lincoln comparison card, if you will. You can clearly see it's got the Kennedy counterstruck, and it just gives some information, and you guys are more than welcome to pause the video anytime you want and read all of the astonishing coincidences between Kennedy and Lincoln. I think that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Another box hunted, another penny hunt. I always love hunting pennies, especially when they come from the Northeast or near the Philadelphia Mint, as well as the West Coast. If you enjoyed this penny hunt, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting, and thanks for watching.